In an article ranking Tom Brady's toughest roads to the Super Bowl, there's been so many, ESPN NFL writer Bill Barnwell ranked this year's path as Brady's toughest in his NFL career. Barnwell has his 2004 championship run second, and 2003 comes in third. You've all heard this. Has played in 10 Super Bowls. It's absolutely unbelievable with this upcoming one. Max, is this the most impressive Super Bowl season for Tom Brady?
2020-21 is the most impressive Super Bowl season for Tom Brady. By far, it's not close. I thought this was a trick question. First of all, he's 43 years old. 43 years old. You know why I made the Cliff prediction? Because at the time he was 40, and there'd only been one quarterback who was worth anything after the age of 40, basically, like an age 41 season. That was Warren Moon, who was a Pro Bowl caliber quarterback at the age of 41. You know what Warren Moon did? When he was 43, he threw like 3 passes that season. He was finished at 43. No one has ever been, not Testaverde, not Doug Flutie, not Warren Moon, has been worth a damn.
What did I tell you, Max? There's always a first. There's a first for everything.
That's absolutely right. And until I see it, I don't believe. I got to see it. I've seen it now. So that's the first thing.
Well, you see it now.
He's in uncharted territory. Like Satchel Paige was great in his late 40s in the major leagues, or he was very effective. Julio Franco could hit a baseball when he was 45, 46. Bernard Hopkins could compete on a world-class level when he's 49, 50 in boxing. Tom Brady at 43 doing this is unprecedented in football. That's one. 2, guys, he just got to a brand new team. I don't care how loaded it is. It was COVID. You couldn't practice with the team. The facilities were shut down throughout the league. You couldn't even get to know your teammates the same way. He's a brand new coach. And Arians is a good, respected coach. He left Bill Belichick, the only head coach he'd ever known in 20 years in the NFL, for a brand new head coach. He had to play all his games on the road in the playoffs. Washington's no great shakes, but they have a real defense. And then he had to face Drew Brees, whose team, Brees and the Saints, in his own division, beat him twice that year. Drew Brees with everything to play for. Retirement looming, a great team around him. Fourth quarter, tie game. What's going to happen? Brady's what happened. And then he had to go on the road to face Aaron Rodgers, the league MVP, with an excellent team around him. And once again, late in the game, the opponent didn't come through, but Brady did. Tom Brady, this is easily his most impressive career accomplishment in a career full of the most impressive accomplishments. This is number 1.
Max Kellerman, before I move on, addressing that drivel you just spewed, unfortunately, to the American public, I ask one question and one question only. Has Super Bowl 55 taken place yet where a winner of that game has been determined?
No.
So that would mean prior to the Super Bowl, just going on the regular season alone, or if you want to go through the conference playoffs, Molly, all the way up to the Super Bowl, are we just going to ignore what transpired in 2007? 16-0. 50 touchdowns, just 8 interceptions, a quarterback rating of 117, the number 1 offense in points, the number 1 offense in yards, the number 1 passing attack. Randy Moss was his wide receiver. Wes Welker was a 1,000-yard receiver. Lawrence Maroney was their running back. They averaged 300 yards a game in the air. Tom Brady threw 50 touchdowns, just 8 interceptions. They went undefeated through the regular season, went undefeated through the playoffs. Before they lost to the Giants, where they slept on their pass rush, the New England Patriots were 18-0. And we're going to sit up here and say that the Tampa Bay team that we walked around...
Looks like Stephen A. dealing with some technical
See that?
difficulties. But
That's
Max,
called
let me just
cosmic
say this.
censorship.
I want to say something quickly.
Molly,
Hold on, Max. I want to say some.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. It's
Cosmic
censorship, but I just want to
talk about drivel.
wait. I want to
The
say
TV gods weren't
this
trying to
to
hear
you,
that.
Max. My goodness, about what Stephen A. just said. I get what he's saying about that 2007 run, but they didn't win it. So that's where I'd lean more towards your argument. But at the end of the day, I think if Tom Brady doesn't win it, if he doesn't win the Super Bowl, then maybe Stephen A's right. But if Tom Brady ends up winning this Super Bowl, there's no doubt it's the most impressive run.
These are two different questions we're answering. I'm answering the question. Stephen A's talking about the greatest Tom Brady's ever been. Yes, 07 was the best he ever played with the best team around him. But up until the Super Bowl, if you want to count everything up until then, that is true. But that is less impressive when you're in the middle of your prime, when the league is changing constantly to favor the passer because Peyton Manning, like the year before, had a very similar offensive profile, right? Like threw a bunch of
Stephen A's back, by the way,
bunch
Max.
of touchdowns and very few interceptions. And the point is that Stephen A. was the best Tom Brady and the best team around him. But when you are
now, you know good and damn well I wasn't finished, and you still talking.
God.
You know good and damn well I wasn't finished after you gave your long soliloquy. You couldn't even shut up enough to let Molly get to sit up there and ask you an additional question. That's how lost you are. Here's the reality of the situation.
Brother, I didn't know
I heard you, Molly. Well, we listen to you. Just be quiet. Yeah. Here's the deal, Molly. The reality of the situation is you're totally wrong because you didn't hear what was the first words out of my mouth, Molly. The first words out of my mouth was, did a Super Bowl 55 take place yet where a winner was determined? The answer was no. So we're talking about now. Of course, if they win the Super Bowl, it's a different discussion. But as of right now, when you compare the season Tom Brady had compared to what transpired, what transpired in 2007, 50 touchdowns, just 8 interceptions, with Randy Moss catching 1,400 yards. We're talking about the most impressive. They went undefeated. They were unblemished. They were considered to be unstoppable, so much so, Max, that Tom Brady was caught on camera. The humble, Mr. Humility himself was caught on camera laughing at reporters who intimated that the Giants' defense was going to hold them to limited points. He's like, really? Okay. He was laughing at that, caught on camera laughing. That's how much of a juggernaut Tom Brady and his offense was. So when we talk about the word impressive, what we're talking about, is a level of elitism that we had not witnessed. We had several question marks about Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers this year. There were no questions about the New England Patriots until they ran into the Giants in the Super Bowl.
Time out. Max, you're going to respond after the break because we need to carry this into another block. And Stephen A., as far as the 50 touchdowns, Tom Brady had 47 this year. That's the most he's had since that 50 in 2007 when he was 30 years old.
Interceptions?
And he did it without
How many interceptions?
Bill.
Are you including,
I don't have the interceptions in front of me.
The playoffs,
don't kill my point. All right. Hold on. It's just 47. That's what I
am killing that point.
Guys, 47. It's the most that he's had. He's had 12 picks. It's the most he's had since that 2007 season when he was 30 years old.
It was 40
and 12 got it straight from research. If you want to double check my sources, go for it. Let's leave it there. Max, you're going to respond to the. All right, you're going to